So like a lot of runners, I watch people run a fast marathon time and it gets me a little jazzed. I do like the idea of being a runner fast marathon. Now I'm primarily a trail runner, so the stuff I do, long distance, over mountains, that kind of stuff. So not conducive to the fast road work. But I ran the Great Ocean Road Ultramarathon, and most of that was actually on a road, and I moved quite fast. And it got me quite excited at the idea that maybe I am a fast marathon runner. So looking at my time on the Great Ocean Road, I thought maybe I could hit that 3:30 number. So I signed up for the Adelaide Marathon, thinking, yeah, let's give this 3:30 challenge a go. However, I ended up injured. I did hurt myself, and that stunted the training towards the 3:30 number. So if you haven't seen my previous couple of videos, I recommend you go and check them out. They are about the injury recovery and then the first trail run I did after the injury. And they give you a bit of a backstory into why this Adelaide Marathon was such a big deal for me. Links are at the top. If you want to go and check out those videos, then come back and watch the rest of this video. So I'll give you a quick recap. I ran Ultra Adelaide, 100k. I ran an unbelievable time, felt absolutely amazing. Next few days, started to recover, just doing some basic morning runs, and went out one morning and had myself a lovely fall, enough to really do some damage. So I tore one tendon in my foot and damaged another one, which obviously that slowed me down big time. I had planned on setting a new benchmark for my marathon time. Obviously, with an injury, that was going to be tough. So I went back and did a bunch of recovery. Worked really hard on it, ended up recovering really well, did a trail run a few weeks later and felt pretty good, and so I kept that recovery going. So the goal originally was to do a sub 3:30 marathon. Now with everything that happened, I wasn't sure if that was on the table, but let's go and have a look at the day before, see how I was feeling. So we've time travelled a bit. It's been about 5-6 weeks since the last time I did an update. A lot of life has happened, a lot of training and recovery. Last update was obviously the injury. Recovery's gone really well. It's still not perfect, but 5 weeks later, I am running. So I've done quite a few 15, 20 kilometer runs, and yeah, it's felt quite good. I don't feel as fast. I'm definitely struggling with the speed, but I'm capable of doing the distance, no problems. So the update is tomorrow is the Adelaide Marathon. So I was hoping I'd be okay to run it, and I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm going to give it a go. If I can't do it, if I can't do the sub 3:30, well, I had mitigating factors like the injury. I was on track to do it. Yeah, and I know that. I know that I had done a really good job with my training, and I had pretty much done it with the Great Ocean Road Marathon, Ultramarathon. It's going to be an interesting event though, because this marathon is, it's a 2-lap marathon. It's kind of zigzags around the Torrens River and through some city streets and stuff. So there's a lot of turns and corners. So I'm not sure how that's going to go with the speed. It'll be fun though. Every event I do, I love to do. So it's fun just to get out there and take part and enjoy it. And the important thing is, I'll be able to write this one off on my list of marathons, because I actually did this marathon about 6-7 years ago, and I was, funnily enough, coming back from an injury that time as well. And I hadn't recovered well enough, and I got about, I think it was about 24, 26 Ks in, and I'd slowed down so much, I was really struggling. I was limping a lot of the way, so I ended up pulling out of that. So this is one of the few runs where I haven't actually completed it. I've never finished this one, so it's going to be nice to be able to tick this off the list and say I've done this one now. I'm not going to take the GoPro on the run. I'd love to. I love the idea of taking it out with me, but I just think I need to focus to try and get this time. Outside of that, I won't be taking you with me, but I'll tell you the story of how it went. All right, well, tomorrow we'll get the marathon done, and then I'll be able to give you updates on how it went, and hopefully I'll be cheering myself as a 3:30 marathoner. Here I am, the Adelaide Marathon, ready to go, warmed up, done my toilet stops, ready to jump out there and chase that. I'm going to chase the 3:15 pacer, so I stay ahead of the 3:30 pacer. Hopefully I keep that going the whole time. I am pretty pumped. Everyone is ready to go, I reckon. Done some good warm-ups. Right. Let's get out there. So as you can tell, I'm pretty excited to get out there and try and hit this goal. I took off well. Kept that 3:15 pacer in my view. I wanted to make sure I stayed very close, so I was sub the 3:30 mark, and that was fun. Yeah, it's actually quite enjoyable kind of chasing. Great run. Obviously I know Adelaide really well. I grew up here, so it was actually quite fun running around Adelaide and running over tracks that I've done many times before, but kind of mixing it up with maybe different angles or through different sections. And interestingly, the Ultra Adelaide that I had run a month and a bit earlier actually finished along this course. Some of these photos where I'm running along the side of the Torrens, I'm actually in the same spot that I finished a 100-kilometre ultra less than 2 months earlier. It's interesting coming through that finish line the first time round, because it's actually 2 laps of the same course. So it's actually a half marathon course, but you run it twice, which means that you can kind of feel yourself out the first lap and really feel how you're going, and then you'll know how much you've got left in the second lap. So road marathons are no joke. As a trail runner, I've got strong legs, I've got strong feet. I'm quite well versed at handling all kinds of terrain, but running on bitumen for multiple hours at high speed, you feel that. I actually think personally, a road marathon is more painful than a trail ultra. I've run 100 kilometres and felt better in the feet and in the legs than I did after the Adelaide Marathon. So marathon runners, my hat goes off to you. It's no joke. So my pace was good. I stayed ahead of the 3:30 pacer for about 37 kilometres, and it was only in the last 4 to 5 kilometres that I started to feel the steam drop a bit, and that 3:30 pacer caught me, past me, and I could see him ahead of me for a long time. I was keeping him in my sights, but I just couldn't quite catch him again. And so when I went through the finish line, I knew I hadn't done the 3:30, but I actually was quicker than I thought I was. I thought I'd done about a 3:35 roughly. Ended up doing 3:33, which I'm really proud of. I think 3 minutes off of that goal time after dealing with an injury, only 5 to 6 weeks earlier. I'm quite proud of that number, and I felt good. And I feel like to this day, I think if you took away that injury, I'm a 3:30 marathoner. And one day, we'll go again, and we'll do an even better time. But for now, I love my trails, and I've got other challenges ahead. I did it. Sub 3:40. I didn't quite get the 3:30. I was about 4.5 minutes over. I was on track to do it until about 5Ks to go, and then the 3:30 pacer caught me. Just a little bit tougher than I thought in the last bit. I just couldn't keep the steam going. But wow, I did it. Adelaide Marathon done. It's no longer got my name. I've got it. Tick that one off the list. I feel good. Very sore, but marathons are hard. They are. Road marathons really hard. Cool. Now it's got to find the family. Cool. So I hope this video was a bit of fun. Didn't want it to be too long. I just wanted to give you guys the story, because if you've been following the journey so far, you've seen what I went through. That's me doing a road marathon. So over the next few videos, we've got some fun, big events coming up. Hyson, 115 kilometre. There's my video for my first backyard ultra. That was pretty cool. Some other challenges I've set myself and some other experiences I've been through. So I'm going to mix up these videos a little bit, and we will try to get away from just doing running events. We'll talk about life a bit more. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this adventure, and I'll see you on the next one.